Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. In today's video, I want to give you guys a big update on PS3 and how it's making some major progress on PC. Of course, this is the PlayStation 3 emulator, and now we're at the point where it is running some major PlayStation 3 exclusives, including games like God of War 3, Sly 3, Persona 5, Dante's Inferno is among that list as well. That was a game, while it wasn't directly a PlayStation 3 exclusive, I don't believe it ever made the transition to being on PC. So all of those games are incredibly relevant when talking about this emulator, because it's one thing if we get a game that was already on PC running on our PS3, and that's great, that shows some progress being made. However, I want to see progress being made in those games that I can play on my PC. And that's what really inclines me to take advantage of an emulator like this. Although it should be noted, when people are running tests with this emulator right now, they're running them with incredibly high specs, so for the common gamer, might not be the best thing in the world, especially if you have a mid-range i5, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but nonetheless, the progress that PS3 has been making has been quite remarkable, so we'll talk all about that. Also, Take-Two gave us a pretty big update in how they want to release games. Of course, Take-Two responsible for games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, and those are massive games. However, they're also games that take a long time to develop, and in the case for the PC version, who knows when we're gonna get RDR2 on PC, but they've also noted through Strauss Zelnick, Take-Two CEO, that they want to release games a little bit quicker, and I find that rather interesting, so we'll highlight that at the end of this video. But first up, DSO Gaming had a pretty interesting article about PS3's progress and all of these games that are being ran, and you'll notice that a lot of these games are being ran rather well. Now, I'm not gonna say it's being ran perfect. I'm looking at a game like Persona 5 right now, which I think is one of the premier games that people want to play, that alongside maybe like the Uncharted games, Red Dead Redemption. Persona 5 is running relatively well. If you actually look at the game in motion, it's getting a good frame rate and definitely playable. The only thing that I noticed based on the video that was uploaded by a user, little bit of stuttering here and there, but definitely a playable experience. I mean, there are a lot of PC games that are naturally PC games, and I experience stuttering here and there. That's something that, me personally speaking, just is game-breaking to me. I know a lot of you guys are probably not the same way, where if you'll get a stutter here or there, that's not game-breaking to you, but for me, I think that's absolutely like game-changing and game-breaking. I know that might be a little bit of a stretch, but again, that's my personal preference. But Persona 5 running well on the PS3 emulator is great, and that begs the question, guys, this emulator is making so much progress on PC. Atlas, Sega, whoever it is, can you get off your butt and actually start working on a PC port of this game? Because there's gonna come a time where PS3 is just accessible to everyone, and everybody's just gonna play Persona 5 through the emulator. Can you beat them to the punch and release the game on Steam? Is that too much to ask? Can we get P5 Royal on Steam? That'd be great, but I imagine if it would come to PC, it would be after the release of Persona 5 Royal on consoles, being the PlayStation 4, and Persona 5 Royal is coming out on the PlayStation 4 probably in early 2020, so a PC version probably wouldn't come until the summer of 2020 or even later on there. But at some point, I think some people are just gonna give up hope and start playing the game on the emulator. But nonetheless, at least it is making pretty good progress. Another one that's making some good progress is Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves. Now, this one is one that is originally a PlayStation 2 game, but the HD remaster brought a better version on the PlayStation 3. This one is running super smooth based on the footage that I'm seeing. This is one of the best running games that I've seen across PS3. And just happy for that to be running well. Sly is one of my favorite franchises on the PlayStation. Unfortunately, commercially, it never does all too well. The last game didn't do all too well, and I don't know if we're going to see another, even though the last title ended on a cliffhanger, which is a gigantic bummer. But nonetheless, it's making some good progress. Unfortunately, a lot of the games that aren't being ran that well are like God of War 3, God of War Ascension, Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is a title with a lot of hiccups, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Motorstorm, The Last of Us, the Uncharted series, those games are still having quite a few issues, but I've been talking about PS3 for quite a while, and I would have never thought we would even get to this point in 2019 where a lot of games are being ran pretty well, because I don't know if you guys are aware, the PlayStation 3 has an incredibly botched cell architecture that developers really didn't dig, and developers really didn't know how to optimize until the later portion into the PlayStation 3's lifecycle. You'll notice that a lot of games are randomly just Xbox 360 exclusives that were early on in the generation. They were just random third-party games, and I would imagine that had something to do with the PS3 PS3 being harder to develop for, and you'll notice that multi-platform games, even though if you look at it, the PlayStation 3 was a more powerful console, a lot of the times multi-platform games were running better on the Xbox 360 for no apparent reason. So there you have it. Wanted to give you guys an update on RPCS3. I'll leave a link to DSO Gaming's article in the description box below, but they have all the videos linked, and if you want to check it out for yourself, I think it's a worthwhile checkup, especially if you're into the emulator scene, which is something that I've been into for a very long time. I think emulators is one of the best elements of PC gaming, and I think it's something that you should keep your eyes on, even though at this point we're not going to get an emulator of the latest consoles, even though a Switch emulator seems to be something in the works. But nonetheless, that's another can of worms that I won't be opening up right now. Okay, moving on from that, Red Dead Redemption was one of the major games that I just mentioned, and of course we're waiting for RDR2 to come to PC, but one of the primary issues with these games, and I don't even know if you would classify it as an issue, it really isn't, is that games like Grand Theft Auto 5, games like Red Dead Redemption 2, they take an incredibly long time to actually develop and get out on the market. You look at the release time from Grand Theft Auto 4 to Grand Theft Auto 5, GTA 4 was in 2008, GTA 5 was in 2013, RDR1 was in 2010, RDR2 was in 2018. So from RDR1 to RDR2, that was 8.5 years. From GTA 4 to GTA 5, that was what, 5.5 years? That is a long gap between games, especially when you look at publishers like Activision churning out Call of Duty games every year. I know from different developers, but you guys get the idea. They're definitely not waiting 5.5 or 8.5 years for those developers to get out games. Assassin's Creed getting releases relatively consistently. In the case of these Take-Two properties and games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, it's always been more staggered releases. However, Strauss Zelnick gave an update and wants quicker release dates of Rockstar Games title, which sounds exciting on the surface, but at the same time, would that mitigate the quality of the games? Let's look at what he said. It's possible that games may be a bit shorter than they were in certain instances, Zelnick told GamesIndustry.biz. It's possible that the ability to deliver content on an ongoing basis for a long time after an initial release of a hit would mean that perhaps that initial release wouldn't be as long in terms of number of hours of gameplay as previously had been demanded in a world where that was all you were getting. Now, here is the thing. That sounds bad on the surface. Now, I've always been for one. I don't think every game needs to be, north of 100 hours long. However, these Rockstar games, Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, they were built on having a lot of content, but I understand where Strauss Zelnick is coming from, especially when you look at the evolving climate of gaming today, and as more and more people are accepting of games as a service. And here's the thing about games as a service, I think that is going to, in the long term, lessen the quality that is necessary for games, because at the end of the day, in that specific business model, it's not about selling each individual game, rather it's about providing this quantity of games and having that quantity where then you can market it very easily. Oh, Xbox Game Pass has north of 200 games, it's only $10 a month. Oh, this service has over 500 games and it's only $15 a month. And at that point, when you are offering that terms of quantity, quality does seem to dissipate at some point. And if it gets to a point where Take-Two is just signing these agreements with these publishers to put their game on their market, then yes, they're not as incentivized in creating these blockbuster experiences. That is something that's really been personally worrying me with games as a service that I don't think a lot of people are taking into account. How many people are going to subscribe to this? I know Netflix provides a lot of quality content, but Netflix also has north of 20 million subscribers. Would a game subscription service ever get that amount of subscribers? And a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2, the budget for those games are incredibly high. So it's just a worrying element for the future of gaming. I know games like Gears 5, Forza Horizon 4, those games are retaining quality now, but I'm interested to see in 4 years, in 5 years, are we still going to get high quality, consistent game releases, and are they going to be offered in these subscription services? Because at some point I question, how are you breaking even or making a profit off of these subscription services? I don't think Microsoft is making a profit off Xbox Game Pass on PC right now. It's $5 a month and you're offering games like Metro Exodus on there. Games like Gears 5 are going to be on there. Forza Horizon 4, I know the price is going to go up to $10 a month, but it's a gigantic investment developing all of these games in-house and then also acquiring the rights to offer these games on your subscription service. And again, it's all about this notion of quantity and getting as many games as you can, but at some point, that quantity is going to hinder the quality, and I think that's where Take-Two is coming from. Hey, if we're getting a Grand Theft Auto game release and it's up to the level of a GTA 5, and we're getting Red Dead Redemption consistently and it's up to the level of RDR2 or RDR1, and we're getting those games every other year, of course I would be all over that. That would be absolutely awesome, and I would check out those games, but it's just not feasible in thinking that you can provide a game at the quality level of GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2 every other year. It would have to be a shorter experience. It would have to be an experience of lesser quality, and at that point, you are going to be getting diminishing returns if you consistently go down that path. We saw it happen with Assassin's Creed. We're seeing it happen with Call of Duty at some point outside of like sports games with these IPs. If you do these releases way too quickly, at some point gamers will get burned out. So just wanted to cover that as well, and that's going to conclude this video. Again, the PlayStation 3 emulator on PC continues to make major progress, and Take-Two wants Rockstar to release games a little bit quicker. I want to hear your guys' thoughts about all of this. Are you on my side, or would you like to see games a little bit more consistently, even if that does mean a lesser of quality? My notion is, look, there's already thousands upon thousands of games that I need to play. Releasing more games isn't really going to do my backlog any help, but I know you guys are on a different mindset, and you're looking at things a little bit differently. But let me know all of your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments as well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.